So ideally, the tools that you're using are written warnings, written disciplinary action forms that you are handing to the employee, sitting down and talking to them about these forms and doing it multiple times prior to getting to termination, so that when you are at termination, there are zero surprises.
Annie, you said that you believe employees should never be surprised when they're terminated. What systems or practices make that possible?
So there are good terminations and there are bad terminations. I mean, none are really great, right? But there are terminations that are better than others. A good termination is when you sit down with an employee and you terminate them, and they are not the least bit surprised. They 100% knew it was coming. If that's the case, that means you, as a restaurant operator or your managers, have done a great job in this situation because they have provided constructive feedback along the way. They have provided written constructive feedback along the way, letting this employee know they aren't doing what you want them to do, and letting them know that if they don't fix that, they aren't going to be able to work here any longer. And so that message is repeatedly given and put in writing so there's no confusion, to the point where when they are terminated, they know it's coming. It's not a shock. And when there isn't a shock at termination, you are much more likely to have a better situation in the end. So employees who are shocked, which would be a bad termination, are much more likely to bring, wrongful termination lawsuits against restaurants or their employers. So a bad termination, on the other hand, is when an employee is shocked. You sit down with them, you tell them they're terminated, and they had no idea it was coming. And that's the situation typically when restaurant operators haven't done a great job of managing the situation. So ideally, the tools that you're using are written warnings, written disciplinary action forms that you are handing to the employee, sitting down and talking to them about these forms, and doing it multiple times prior to getting to termination, so that when you are at termination, there are zero surprises.